Hey guys, welcome to the Blogger Breakthrough Podcast. I'm from ElizabethStapleton.com and the founder of the Blogger Breakthrough Summit. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about some easy things you can do to help with your blog's search engine optimization, otherwise known as SEO. This episode is brought to you by Pin Generator in a Box. It's a course designed to give you all the tools and resources you need to create your very own pin generator so you can keep feeding that fresh pin monster quickly and easily. You can learn more about it at elizabethstapleton.com/PGIB. Okay, so let's dive right into the tips because traffic from search engines like Google are considered the holy grail of referrals. But there are some things that bloggers do that can hurt their SEO or kind of unintentionally have things out there that they don't want. There's some really simple things that you can do to help your SEO. So first, I want to let you know that you should be checking whatever SEO plugin you're using, like check the settings. Personally, I use Yoast SEO. It's a great plugin, and I think a lot of bloggers are told to use it without much detail on why or what settings they should check. I remember when I was a new blogger and people were like, use it, and I didn't even realize what it was doing. So while most people use the Yoast SEO widget when creating or editing a post to kind of see how well optimized it is for a keyword, there are some general settings that you should be sure to check. You can find them by selecting search appearance when you kind of go into your the dashboard, the menu on the left-hand side. I would make sure you pay particular attention to the content types. Some of the plugins you use may be showing up. Back when I was using Thrive Leads, I had no idea that random pop-ups were showing up when people would search for my site in Google. So if you were to search your site name, see what is popping up. The other piece you want to pay attention to under search appearance is the media settings. So this includes your graphics, but also any PDFs you may have uploaded, like maybe you're hosting your freebie, your PDF freebie on your site, and you don't want to be searchable, which brings me to my next tip. Make sure your freebies aren't free on Google because then they don't need to sign up to your email list. For a quick way to make sure your freebies aren't searchable, if you choose to have the rest of your media searchable, so you want like your pin images and all of that to be searchable, but not the PDFs, then you can adjust that. In the media section on your website, search for PDF or whatever file type your freebie is. Then go into each one and select Edit More Details. There you'll see the Yoast settings for that particular media file under the Advanced drop-down menu. Just go ahead and select No where it says Allow search engines to show this media in search results. If people access the freebie from a special download page you've created, you'll also want to go into the Yoast settings of those pages and make sure. All right, the next tip is you want to get rid of dates in your permalinks. And I'm going to say this with a caveat, so finish listening before you go do this. When you start a WordPress site, your permalink settings usually default to include the day and name, but including the day in the permalink is not great for search engine optimization because Google sometimes it's looking for the best content, and there's a certain extent where it wants kind of more recent content. Not always, right? Good content will always be good content, but the date in your permalinks is really not necessary. But before you go changing it, if you didn't change it when you started, if you've been using that default and plan to change it, you're likely going to change it to the post name option. Then know that you're going to need to forward all the old URLs to the new URL because you'll end up with a bunch of broken links if you don't. So you'll likely want to use a plugin like Redirect to do this. But I would highly recommend just hiring this out so that you don't end up with a bunch of dead links everywhere. Personally, when I rebranded, I changed URLs, and so I just hired it out to Grayson Bell at iMark Interactive. I'm not an affiliate. He's a friend of mine. He's awesome. He's great. I highly recommend him. But if you're planning to change your permalink settings, I would definitely reach out to get a professional to make sure you don't mess up your site. Okay, next tip. Use link juice correctly. So outbound links to sites other than your own, have settings you need to be aware of as well. There may be times when you don't want to pass along your quote-unquote SEO juice to other sites in general. And then there are times when you absolutely should not. In those cases, you need the outbound link to be classified as no-follow. You should be using the no-follow classification on any link that is paid that includes links to sponsored content as well as affiliate links. And there are new designations of like sponsored. The folks at iMark Interactive, again, I'm going to refer to Grayson because he's the WordPress guru I follow, wrote a great explanation of when to use nofollow and how to set links as nofollow, and I'm going to link to that in the show notes so you can go check that out. The last tip I have for you, I believe it's my last tip, is sharing your authority. So in an update to the algorithm in 2018, Google started placing more emphasis on EAT, which stands for expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. The better your quote-unquote EAT score, the better your chances of ranking. This means that you need to make sure that your site demonstrates your authority and expertise. A few easy ways to do this is through your about page and your bio. So, maybe you aren't like an expert. Maybe you're in the personal finance space and you're talking about finance and you're not an expert. And that's okay. You need to say, hey, I'm not a licensed professional. This is my experience, and kind of be like, I paid off $7,000 in 3 months, or whatever it is. So to make sure your about page and bio are good, if they don't currently showcase your expertise or where you're getting your experience from, go back and edit them. So that's it. Even if you're a new blogger, these 5 things are easy to do to help you with your site's SEO. So to review, you want to review your settings in the Yoast SEO plugin or whatever SEO plugin you're using. Make sure your freebies aren't searchable in search engines. Take the dates out of your permalink structure. Use no-follow links appropriately, and then showcase your authority and trustworthiness throughout your site. Implementing all of these things should only take maybe an hour of your time, but they could pay off big time in the long run. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you are able to start knocking SEO out of the park. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to leave a review on iTunes.